I'd like to make a motion to come out of non-public session.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, come out of non-public. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're now out of non-public.
I'd also like to make a motion to seal the minutes indefinitely, as divulgence of this information likely would adversely affect the reputation of any person other than a member of this board.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to seal the minutes indefinitely. We'll do a roll call on that. Council Mills?
Yes.
Council Webb?
Yes.
Spencer?
Yes.
Council Chase?
Yes.
Council Mojay?
Yes.
Council McEachern?
Yes.
And Chair votes yes. This minutes are sealed. And we are in public. Good evening. Welcome to the Derry Town Council meeting for Tuesday, December 16th. Council Mills, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome to the meeting. For those here, in the event of emergency, exits in the back there. If you have a cell phone, please silence it. And we'll do a roll call. Council Mills.
Good evening.
Council Webb.
Good evening.
Council Spencer.
Good evening.
Council Chase.
Good evening.
Council Mojay.
Good evening.
Council McEachern.
Evening.
Good evening from the chair and Mr. Fowler and Madam Town Clerk.
Good evening.
Do you have a motion?
Motion to open public forum.
Second.
Motion to open public forum. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public forum is now open. If you wish to speak, come up, state your name and address for the record.
Steve Trefethen. I'm now a registered voter in Derry. I may get involved in politics and maybe sit in one of your seats one day, I hope. I'm also a business owner in Derry for over 30 years. I'm also a large taxpayer in the town of Derry. I'm a developer. And I've been around a long time. And hopefully I've been coming up here for the last 8 or 9 years on a steady basis, speaking at all the meetings. And I try to give some good ideas. I don't know how far they go, but anyway, I bring them out, so here we go again. I realize that the upcoming budget season and tax season, I know we want to keep all of our services, and I agree. But we need some stuff some items in the middle that I think are important. So I'll just be bringing things every couple of weeks to you that may be of value and may not be, as far as this council is concerned. So there's many towns in New Hampshire that use external engineering and planning consultants, often called on demand. Part-time planners, engineers to save costs, provided specialized expertise, and manage workloads, especially in smaller communities that can't afford full-time staffing. Firms, planning and engineering, HC Planning Associates, the practices help towns meet development needs efficiently without overhead of permanent high-salaried positions, bringing specific skills like site plan review, subdivisions. There's a lot of cost savings involved in that, avoiding salaries, benefits, office space, equipment, full-time staff, expertise, assessing specializing knowledge, environmental, traffic, stormwater, that's hard to keep in-house, flexibility, scaling services up or down based on development cycles, independent reviews of complex projects. Planning and Engineering Services, PES, offers planning, engineering, surveying for towns like Amherst, Bedford, Bow. They all use that. HC Planning Associates provides planning, conservation, and economic development services. And they offer land use review, site designs, zoning administration, public works, engineering, how it works. Town contact these firms, specialize in the task, and get some pricing. All I'm asking is that, I like everybody here. I think everybody's doing a great job, but I think we got to find some items in the middle. The school is looking at an $8 million increase in their budget this year. That's what we're going to get. That's on a $100 million budget, so it's 8%. And, our taxes keep going up, and I know we all want our services, but somewhere in the middle, there lies some good ideas, and I think we got to look at all that, or at least get estimates on that. And then the only other thing I can say is thank God. I'm happy to see Mike here in the seat. Can't be more pleased. I don't think there's another person that could do this town better than Mike, and he's been a pleasure to work with, and I just want to mention that. But I'm just asking the council to take a look at what's in the middle to save money like I have to do every day in my business, And I'm not saying any of those are great ideas, but every couple of weeks I'm going to bring you some new ideas, and I hope you use some of them, or at least take a look into them and tell me why they're bad or tell me why they're good. But I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And just your address for the record, please. Your address for the record.
Yeah, my address is 13 North Shore, Steve Trefethan.
Thank you.
That is my resident. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wish to speak? Owen?
Seeing none, rise online.
And seeing no one further rising here, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to close public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public hearing is now closed in this public forum. Consent agenda, 25-118, approved non-public minutes from December 2nd, 2025. And item number 25-119, approve the public minutes from December 2nd, 2025. Do I have a motion to accept those?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the consent agenda. A second, Counselor Mills.
Yes.
Counselor Webb.
Yes.
Counselor Spencer.
Yes.
Counselor Chase.
Yes.
Counselor Mojay.
Yes.
Counselor McEachern.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion carries 7-0. Moving to the chair's report, we have an appointment to the Taylor Library Board of Trustees. I move to appoint Stephen Tharp as an alternate member of the Taylor Library Board of Trustees for a term to expire March 2026.
Second that.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion? Any further nominations? Okay. Counselor Mills.
Yes.
Counselor Webb.
Yes.
Counselor Spencer.
Yes.
Counselor Chase.
Yes.
Counselor Mojay.
Yes.
Counselor McEachern.
Yes.
The motion carries 7-0. So I would like to invite up Jim Ash and Dave Dyson from the VFW and American Legion. They're going to give a little presentation on the Forest Hill Cemetery. As many know, a year and a half, 2 ago, we started a cleanup project at the cemetery, and that kind of evolved into another project, and I'll let Mr. Ash and Mr. Dyson explain that. So please introduce yourself and welcome.
All right, yep, James Ash, with Derry and with the Legion, Derry VFW and the Legion, also Sons of the American Legion.
Dave Dyson, I'm from the VFW and the American Legion.
All right, welcome.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Okay, so, all right. So we started working in the Forest Hill Cemetery about 2 years ago. We started in March of 2004, and our initial intent was to clear and clean the veteran graves out there. In placing the flags in the years prior, we always noticed that a lot of the graves were ambiguous. They were tough to read, and we call upon kids largely. We have adults out there, but mainly it's kids placing flags every Memorial Day. And it's hard for them to discern who's a veteran, who's not a veteran by looking at the graves. So we wanted to get out there and clean them up. Over the years, a lot of the footstones have subsided or have grown over, and they're no longer visible or they're partially visible. So our project initially was to clear the graves, to clean them up, but the problem was a little exacerbated because on the southeast side of the cemetery along McGregor Avenue, in the spring, that area is very saturated, it's very wet, and unfortunately a lot of people, when they're out in the cemetery, they're not careful and they drive over the footstones that are along the first row. And those tombstones or those footstones subside. Some of them are down in the ground as much as 8 inches. So we had to clean a lot of those up. In fact, Charlie was instrumental in cleaning up a lot of those. And I want to thank Mike, Mr. Fowler, for getting material out there to help us to remove those stones, elevate them with chipstone, and set them back to a flush level. But in the course of doing this, we realized that a lot of the graves were not documented. We'd come across veterans we'd never seen before in the documentation and previous documentation efforts. So we started documenting them all. We called upon the community, thanks to Owen, and he put the word out, and we had a great response from the town of Derry, the greater Derry area, as well as veterans from both of our posts. And we were able to identify over the course of the 22 months that we worked on the project, 1,560 veterans out there, which was double the number we previously knew of. And we suspect there's probably a couple hundred more that we'll be working on over the next couple of years to identify. Go back one, please. One of the problems we have with the cemetery out there is years past, veterans were offered by the VA cash in lieu of a footstone. So a lot of families back in the day took the cash. Of course, when they took the cash, they signed away their rights to a footstone. So a lot of these graves you walk up on, you do not know if it's a veteran or not. There's no indicator. There's no VA stone, footstone, headstone. There's no VSO or Veteran Service Organization marker. Unfortunately, we have people around us like Tony Bruno, who's a wealth of knowledge. And a lot of times we'd be out there working in the cemetery and he would walk up on us and he would always point out, well, you know, this person's a veteran and this person's a veteran. We had no idea. So we were very quick and eager to document that and to research it. So I'd like to take this moment while I'm thanking folks. Thank Charlie, Dave, for being instrumental in kicking this project off. And also, Mr. Fowler, really appreciate your help. It's been great. And then Doug and Jill in getting us access to the data. They gave us all the GIS data, all the mapping data, and that helped us immensely in validating the graves that we did find. I'd like to thank and his team for getting the word out. That was hugely helpful. Also, I want to call out the cemetery staff. We had people out there, a lot of people out at the cemetery, and I know we disrupted their grounds operations. They were extremely understanding, and they tolerated us, and just want to say thanks to them. Also, want to call out the Derry Village Rotary. A lot of their members showed up for the cleaning activities, greatly appreciated. And then there were 3 Eagle Scout projects that were kind of the seed for the data that we started with to document. Dylan Navarro, his 1998 project, Joseph Rounds and Gavin Holloway worked on a 2020 project. All 3 of them wound up getting their Eagle Scout as a result. And then I'd also like to call out previous members or members of our American Legion and VFW post. They showed up in spades in helping us as well. Okay, now we can move on. So the validation of the data, this is where we spent the first summer, 2024, just uncovering and documenting the graves. Spent all last winter validating the data. And again, the GIS and map data that we were given by Doug was hugely helpful, as well as us putting eyes on the graves over the course of the previous summer, looking at the VA stones. There's a wealth of knowledge in the VA stones, as well as the civilian stones and the VSO markers. The Eagle Scout projects that Dylan, Gavin, and Joseph put together, between the 3 of them, they identified 800 veterans. I have to take my hat off to them. We worked on this project, and we had a lot of people, almost 2 years. These scouts that worked on a brief period of time in order to get their Eagle Scout, they did a good job, but they didn't have a lot of time, so the data was inherently flawed. There was a lot of duplicates. There were people listed as veterans who were not, and then there were just errors in birth dates, death dates, so we corrected all of that. We also used the Find a Grave website. There's a lot of information out there, but that's only as good as the people who put the data in, so we had to validate all of that. Derry Library had a lot of resources at their tips that they used when they worked on their cemetery project. We made ourselves, we used a lot of that data, and then we also went out and looked at a lot of DoD sites to validate the veteran service records. So, a little too much detail here, I'm sure, but this is the crux of the whole project. And if you get a chance, or if you had a chance to look at the spreadsheet, that's great. It's posted at the cemetery webpage. If not, I invite you to go out and take a look at it. If you had a loved one in the cemetery and you want to know where he or she was at, all you would need to do is look at this spreadsheet, go to the map of the cemetery, and you'd be able to walk right up onto that grave. We have their first name, last name, middle initial, prefix and suffix. If they had a nickname that became known to us, we documented that in there. We had their last known military rank. We have the grave location, and this is the key part. We have the avenue name. We know what side of the road it's on. It'll say north, south, east, or west, so you know which way to face. We have the section number, and it'd be alpha in the case of the old sections. We have the plot number and the grave number, which is huge. You can actually walk up not only to the plot, but you would know that your loved one's in the upper right-hand corner, left corner. We did not have that before. We also have the veteran status, if they had one, whether they were killed in action, died of wounds, died in service, whether a POW, an MIA, or wounded in action. And just want to take a second to, I'm sure we have 4 veterans at least here on the council. KIA, died of wounds, died in service. Killed in action, obviously, they were killed outright in action. Died of wounds, they suffered a wound in action, but succumbed to their wounds later, days, weeks, months later. And then died in service. That's a result of an accident or sickness. There was a lot of that during the Civil War, or suicide. And there's a number of those in the cemetery as well. We have the conflicts that they served in. We have that documented. Many of them served in 3 conflicts. Branch of service, we have one gentleman out there that served in 3 different branches. In fact, he's buried near Dave's son. And then service details. This is the interesting part. It's basically a comment section on the right-hand side for each line. And in there, if they had a significant medal, we've noted it. We noted their unit they were in, the ship they were on. If they were affiliated with a veteran service organization, that's in there. If they're listed on a town monument, that's in there. You can jump one more. Yes. So this page is the crux of it. You look at any cemetery in the U.S., and it's going to be equally as impressive. But when we stood back and looked at the data, it's sobering. Out of the 1,500, 34 we were able to confirm that they were killed in action. They died of wounds. They died in service. There were 4 that were missing in action, 2 that were recovered afterwards, that were verified killed in action. Their status was changed. One of them is Joseph McGuire, and he's a Vietnam veteran and a good friend of Bill Manning. And in fact, that was the seed for starting the Derry Rail Trail memorial benches. He's the first of 15 benches that are out there. And then we have 2 that remain missing in action. Major Albert Page, he was an F-4 Phantom pilot. Him and his rear seater went down over the Gulf at Tonkin, and the bodies never were recovered. He remains missing in action. His parents are buried in Forest Hill, and he's commemorated there. And then, let's see, we have 6 former POWs, all from the Civil War in the cemetery. 1 Medal of Honor winner, Private William Tabor. He was a sharpshooter during the war. To get a Medal of Honor, as we all know, it's rarely done. So we're fortunate to have, honored to have a Medal of Honor winner in our cemetery. There are still 3 Silver Star recipients. The requirements for a Silver Star are the same as for a Medal of Honor, but they just were not deemed worthy enough to be awarded a Medal of Honor. We have 3 Distinguished Flying Crosses, and we have 16 veterans with 18 Bronze Stars among them. The requirements for a Bronze Star and for a Distinguished Flying Cross are basically the same. You distinguish yourself in heroism and combat or through distinguished meritorious service. But with the Distinguished Flying Cross, whatever action you're being commemorated for, it has to occur in the air. We have 54 Purple Heart recipients. To get a Purple Heart, you have to killed in combat, receive the award posthumously, or suffered an injury in combat. And then we have 2 French Cross of War recipients in the cemetery from World War I. That started by the French in World War I. And lastly, we've committed, we just turned over a file to Doug and Jill, and they posted it on the Forest Hill Cemetery page. We've committed to provide an annual update to the cemetery each December with reflecting new burials and then discoveries throughout the year. We're going to be getting back out into the cemetery this spring ahead of Flags In for Memorial Day to refresh the graves, and we'll be looking to Owen and his team to help us get that word out and get the public out in force again. We always put flags on the graves on Memorial Day. We also place flags or wreaths on the graves in the holidays. Now, we don't put wreaths on every grave. We put them out judiciously. We put one in each of the two the VFW sections, and then one each in the two Legion sections, one in the GAR monument, then one each on the war memorials down at McGregor Park, one on either side of the Lance Corporal Michael Geary Bridge, one in the VFW section in Holy Cross, and a couple at the post on Railroad Ave. We've also stood up a Facebook page and invite you to take a look at that. It's called Honoring Forest Hill Cemetery Veterans, and we've started posting out there a picture of the veteran's grave and the brief bio of their service. We're not putting anything out there that's not already public knowledge. And then we're also running an update of this project on our Post 9 webpage and the VFW page as well. And then I would ask Charlie, if you don't mind, speaking to the last bullet on this slide about the nonprofit.
So, yeah, we're looking into the potential creation of a nonprofit status, something along the lines of Friends of Forest Hill Cemetery, Veteran Cemetery, and that's something we're behind the scenes working on right now to see if we can get that established, and we'd look for volunteers to come out on a regular basis annually, so it's not the same handful of people going out and doing this maintenance every year and whatnot. It can be, a whole more engaging community to come out and help us and have a little more teeth to it. So stay tuned for that. We'll see where that goes. And that's it on that. And
The nice thing about starting a nonprofit, it helps us with funds creation. Cleaning these graves is expensive. We have to use a biologic agent, and it's not cheap. It's pretty expensive, but it does not harm the stone, does not harm the ground around it. And a lot of the veteran stones are literally broken, and they need repair. That's costly. It takes equipment, it takes labor. So we're looking to start up a nonprofit to aid in moving this project forward.
right. And then this past year, Servpro Chuck Nuske was very kind and helped us get some materials for that. And Servpro provided that cleaning agent for this past cycle that we did. So thank you to them for that.
Do you have any questions of us?
Yes, question?
Do you have any idea, what you just mentioned about graves that are kind of cracking and all that? Do we have
Talking to
any- Oh, sorry. You just mentioned about the graves cracking and some of them are in disrepair. Do we have any rough estimate of how many either markers or gravestones are in
Do not.
condition for
Most-
disrepair?
Most of the ones that are broken are in the old section, and they're
Yeah.
broken and they're stacked up in some cases. I mean, it's going to take a significant amount of effort to sort them out, because they're mixed with civilian stones, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Just curious, maybe we can try to get an estimate. That way you can kind of promote that when you get the nonprofit up and saying, hey, we're going to make an effort to replace all X amount of stones, and we think it's going to be this much money, and,
Yep.
start doing some fundraisers and all. It's just a suggestion.
Right.
Thank you. Appreciate all your efforts, really do.
Thank you.
And I think to that point, a distinction for that is the old part of the cemetery, some of those stones that are broken, we don't want to mess with because they're historical in nature, and they're so historical that even trying to clean them or anything like that could do more damage, so
Exactly.
they're kind of as is. If you
Kind
go-
of like the Civil War ones.
Yeah, if you go through now and you walk through some of those by the front gate when you first walk in, some of those are broken. You can see that they've tried to been repaired over the years, whether it be bonded or drilled, or whatever. But it just
Doesn't look right.
that's as best you can do. But the newer section, I'll call it newer section, those are a little more fixable if they're chipped or cracked or anything like that, because
Right.
they're more
I would
modern.
assume those would be World War II, Korean War.
Civil War.
Civil-
No, it's the old section, yeah.
Yeah, but the
newer
ones that
section,
we can't be
yes.
fixed would be more Korean, Vietnam.
Yes.
Potentially World War II even.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right.
Yeah.
And the funds would help us buy a lot of markers. You've seen usually they're bronze or they're plastic.
Yes,
Look,
the little
bronze markers.
circular one?
Correct.
Flag on them.
Right, and a lot of them, there's some out there that are just generic. They say war veteran or military veteran, and then we could insert those in the graves where there's no other identification. That way, the kids, when they go to place the flags, they'll clearly see this is the grave of a veteran.
Any other questions? And then, there's the video?
I'm sorry?
There's video, right?
Yes. Mr. Chair, we have a video that was part of the initial call to action for getting volunteer recruitment and community engagement. And I will say this was a great opportunity for some of our young junior staff to be involved in the production, to be out there while folks were doing the work. And then also in post-production, we had some of our interns who might not otherwise be exposed to this area of the community and the work that's been going on, not only now, but all the work that had been done in previous years. So it was a treat to get them involved.
Excellent.
Hello, I'm James Ash with the Derry VFW and American Legion. We're out here today along with other members from our post, from the Derry Village Rotary and the town of Derry, cleaning up the graves ahead of Memorial Day. Memorial Day, we take time out to clean the graves in order to honor and remember our fallen servicemen and women. We do that by placing flags on the grave, and then on Memorial Day, we'll actually formally recognize them with rifle salutes, and then down to the park, and we'll have a formal ceremony following the Derry Parade.
We get out here every year and put flags, but when Charlie from the Derry Town Council asked if we'd help come around and start cleaning up stones that are buried in the ground. A lot of them have sank down a couple of inches, so we're getting all the grass off them, coming back with a product, biodegradable, to spray it, clean up the stones. We've got a few hundred of them done, I think, so far. We figure, what, about 900 probably altogether?
We have a handful of folks. The effort's being led by Charlie Foote to make sure we get all of these graves cleaned up over the course of the summer. It would be a first, and it's a lofty goal, but hopefully we can get it done. We're losing too many of these headstones by subsidence.
We had some guys the other day that had weed whackers. They go around and clean it first, and then we scrape off the rest of it. But we're doing it every weekend for who knows how long. It depends on how many volunteers we get. The town has helped us get maps made up, so eventually we can take pictures and then put them on the map, and we'll have an overhead of where everybody's buried.
So we started this. We've been working on this on and off a couple of years. Not quite the effort we have going on right now under Charlie, but we were able to identify approximately 900 graves between what we've uncovered, what Jason Navarro uncovered, and the Eagle Scout project prior to him uncovered. Through the efforts we've had here over the past week, we've probably uncovered another 100, 120 more. So hard to tell how many graves are here.
These stones weigh about 100 pounds apiece. So if it's in a wet area, they sink over a period of time. So they're down 2 or 3 inches, some of them. So it's an effort to scrape. We try to go around the edges, and then we get all the grass off of them. Then we have a biodegradable chemical that Charlie ordered. We haven't got it yet. Come around and spray them, let it sit for a while, then come by with water and rinse them off. It won't hurt the grass or anything.
If anybody wants to help Charlie's effort to clean these graves, reach out to Charlie Foote, council member, and let him know you're interested. He'll get you out here with the rest of us, and we can knock this out that much quicker.
We just bring a shovel. If we can get a shovel, that's easier to edge around it. I've got a regular edger, but it works, but some of them are tough. Yeah, little gardening tools, and we have trash bags. We put all the clippings in. And there's a pile over there that's all loom. We dump that all in there.
Mr. Chair, real briefly, this QR code and web address I can escape out of here. We're going to keep that site active for the purposes of this. Let me pause this. It's restarting here. But that way there, it can be updated with future calls to action and ways people can get involved, and also as a sort of a one-stop shop to link to any social media like the Facebook page and any of the resource websites that are available from the organizations or the town itself.
Great.
So any way we can help, we're more than happy to do that.
Great.
Yep, appreciate it.
And to that point, for anyone who would be interested in helping out, the time commitment is little or as long as you want. It can be a 10-minute, go and uncover one thing, clean up one, or you could be there 10 hours or 10 days or whatever. We've had people stop by at lunchtime and do a quick cleaning, and then, that would be it. And if everyone did one, it'd be done in no time. And in the video, you see that 900 is what we suspected, and now we're up to 1,500. So that's how many more were uncovered just by doing this, and a lot of it was the poking and prodding, like literally walking with the bar and trying to figure out where we thought they would be, and uncovered a lot like that. So it's definitely a labor of love for those involved in it. So thank you guys for everything, and I can't really articulate the amount of work that went involved and what these gentlemen have done to try to get all this criteria and put it on the spreadsheet and whatnot. And so thank you very much for all the effort. And so any questions?
Councilor Foot, yes, I've also got a question. This is a tremendous effort on the part of Forest Hill Cemetery, but I seem to recall also that your organization also takes care of some benches on the Derry Rail Trail, and would you like to speak a little bit about that and the efforts? Can you also use some help on that?
Yeah, Bill Manning, I think everybody knows Bill Manning. He's a fixture in town. He's a Marine veteran, and he's the one that started the whole Derry Rail Trail benches, and it's expanded. It's London Derry now, and covering conflicts, Vietnam and since. Again, that's another labor of love. He's out there twice a year, ensuring those benches are maintained, they're re-oiled, flags are replaced, and he always does that ahead of Memorial Day and ahead of Veterans Day. He takes great pride in that, but he's getting up in the years and he's needing more
He
help.
makes them from scratch, too. He makes the benches. Bill.
They're very substantial, yeah.
Thank you.
A lot of wood.
Any other questions or comments? Councilor Spencer?
No, I agree. I only was able to go once. If everybody could just do one, it would make all the difference. And it is just walking around. I had cleaned one headstone that was here, or the footstone there that was here, and I almost walked away and thought there was a rock next to it, and it was another one. There was this much showing, and we found another one right next to it. So it is, it's amazing all the work you've done. And as the daughter of a veteran who is buried in a cemetery that is not local, to be able to think that maybe someone would be doing that in that cemetery as well. And so knowing what you're doing for those families as someone who has the headstone of a family member that I don't get to go take care of, I just want to say thank you for all the work you've done.
I appreciate that point. My father was a veteran. He's buried in a cemetery in Colorado. If somebody had a database like this, I could easily log on and look at the information of him, even though I already know it. It's nice. Anybody around the country or the world can log on to the Derry website if they have a veteran in this cemetery, and they can look them up.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, and another fine point, the cemetery is a beautiful place. A lot of people go up there and do their morning walks or afternoon walks, and it is beautiful. The weather's just right. That the grounds crew does a great job up there. And so, yeah, anybody interested in helping out, just reach out to the town, and they'll direct you in the right spot to get involved in this. And again, thank you both for everything that you've done. And we just really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you for being out there.
And it's, the veterans kind of sometimes go unnoticed, but they're really not. So thank you for everything.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I could just mention, this RSVP link is still active, so that certainly the methods that were already mentioned, if people wanted to reach out. But again, at DerryCAM.org/Forest Hill Vets, you can find out everything you need to know. We'll keep it updated as we can, and the contact will go right to the key stakeholders.
And obviously, Owen, thank you in DerryCAM and your
It's our
and a lot of
pleasure.
your student employees that helped out with this, and they did a great job. So always showing up and everything. So, all right. So having said all that, Mr. Fowler.
All right, so I've got a number of items, and just before we go into my town administrator report, I also do want to put my sentiments out there to Dave and to Jim and to Charlie for all their great work. I had firsthand knowledge of seeing this progress go throughout in my role as the DPW director. It was a great force multiplier. It was an awesome project, and we were happy to assist where we could, but you guys were definitely the drivers behind that, and we're so thankful for that, and the community should be as well. So I just wanted to pass my sentiments on to you. Just great work by everybody. All right, so just talking about some of the various items. Public Works, as everybody knows, we've had a cold winter thus far, but nothing that's been substantial snowfall. Looks like we're going to get some rain, but so far everything's been standing up very well. All the equipment is working and it's all been available to us, so I think everything's been going well on our snow and ice operations thus far. Knock on wood, we're probably going to get through the next couple of weeks without any major storms, so that's good news. Building infrastructure projects, I do have an update on the central fire, or the new fire headquarters. There's been a number of phone conversations with Wendell, our construction manager, and a couple of the contractors relative to the status of the generator, which has been in a failing condition. It has failed multiple tests, and just so everybody's aware, we cannot occupy that building because the elevator is not able to be used. You need an emergency generator to be operative in case somebody gets trapped in the elevator, and for obvious other reasons. The provision that has been worked out at this point is the electrical contractor is providing a portable generator which has enough capacity to power the elevator and other auxiliary power needs. That was set up late yesterday, and now we're going to be moving forward with the elevator test. The good news on that is if everything passes, we get the state certification, we're going to be moving forward on occupying the building, which at this point I'd expect to be hopefully in early January, provided everything goes well. Now the backside of this is obviously we need to have that permanent generator working properly, and so that is still a technical issue that has to be worked through. As you can imagine, sometimes between contractors and engineers, there's discussion about, is it the generator issue? Is it the gas supply? So that still is out there. We will be withholding certain payments if we don't have a satisfactory answer to the permanent generator. But for purposes of us moving forward and moving in, we have some substantial progress moving forward, and I'll keep the council and the public posted, but that is positive news as compared to the last time we were here in early December. Personnel. So as many people are aware, we've had a number of retirements in Derry in the last 12 months, and there's another couple of retirements that I want to note for the public. So we had three police personnel announced their retirement. Detective Peter Houlis retired on December 5th after 21 years of service with the Derry Police. Patrol Officer James McClaffery will retire on January 1st, 2026. After 24 years. And then today we had a nice ceremony here in the Municipal Center. Captain Vern Thomas is retiring effective January 1, 2026, after serving the town of Derry for over 44 years, almost 45 years. And Captain Thomas began service in February of 1981 as a patrol officer. He has filled many roles here: detective, patrol sergeant, patrol lieutenant, detective lieutenant, and then he was promoted to captain. So we wish to commemorate and thank all those employees for their service, and we wish them the best in their retirement. But somebody with 44 years of experience in one job, that's a very rare occurrence in today's employment world, and certainly Vern will be missed in his retirement. Similarly, Florent Frenchie Martineau, he's going to be retiring from the Public Works Department and Parks Department after 18 years, so that'll be effective on January 1, 2026. So all of those, we've got some plans in place to backfill those positions and fill those vacancies as quickly as we can. I also have one other item relative to personnel. So the fire chief position was posted through a number of different sites, Mass Municipal, New Hampshire Municipal, and the due date for the applications is January 16th, 2026. So we'll keep the council updated on the progress as we move forward on that. All right. Lastly, one of the items that I asked for the council to take a look at, we are going to be moving into budget season very soon. And that will start off with some staff reviews in January. We move forward. I present the budget to the town council as of April 1st. And then, as has been customary, there's a number of meeting dates that we go through budget workshops. And that's all started with the end of the line where we would be voting on May 5th, presumably for the new budget, May 5th, 2026. So what I've got in front of for the councilors to look at is try to nail down some dates for March and April, just so that I can get staff set up and make sure we can work around a couple of conflicts that we have with holidays and some other things. So let me just kind of walk everybody through this progression. We'll go through March 1st. So March 3rd is a regular meeting date for town council. March 10th is a Tuesday. That's the town election. Then on March 17th, a Tuesday, you would normally have a meeting, but we're looking at not holding a meeting on that day in lieu of having a meeting on March 26th, a Thursday night, okay? And that would be a regular meeting. You'd establish your chair, your vice chair, and any appointments to boards and committees. So that rule, if there are new councilors, they could be sworn in shortly after the election, which would be on that Monday, but it wouldn't be affected by not having a meeting on March 17th. So it's just a procedural item. I just wanted to get the council's feedback on that, and then we can talk about April and the budgets, because there's a few more items on that. So if you wanted to give me any commentary on the suggestion for March.
Anybody?
You want it now?
Yeah, you can get back to me later on in terms of that. Like I said, I just was looking for some feedback as far as setting some of those dates.
Yeah.
No issue.
Okay.
No issue with me.
No.
Looks good.
Okay.
I'll say I have an issue with one of the dates potentially. I think I can get home in time. I'll be coming back from the West Coast on the 26th, but I think I can get a flight that gets me here.
Okay. Okay. All right, and then that brings us to the month of April. So typically in April, we do the budget reviews. We have a couple of normal town council meetings. So let me just review kind of our schedule. So April 7th, which is a Tuesday, that's just a regular town council meeting. And at that meeting, I'll also do a general overall budget review. It won't be overly detailed. You'll have an opportunity to get back to me with any questions that you may have. You'll have had the budget books at least for a week at that point. I'll deliver those no later than April 1st by charter. It'll probably be a week before that. So you'll have ample time to review that. April 9th, which is a Thursday, I'm proposing to do budget workshop number 1, which would be public safety and DPW. The following Thursday, April 16th, would be budget workshop 2. That'd be all of our other departments, finance, assessing, all that, to work through the libraries. Just a quick note, that particular night, we would be displacing a regular ZBA meeting. That has happened in the past before, so I can work with the chair of the ZBA just to get that sorted out. And it may turn out that they may not even have any cases for that night. So just to kind of put that out there for transparency. April 21st, which is a Tuesday, that would be a regular town council meeting, and we can wrap up the budget. And then on another Thursday, April 23rd, a public hearing on the budget, and the CIP would be that night, which then goes into May 5th, which is a regular town council meeting, and the adoption of the fiscal 27 budget. So I think that's a pretty good schedule. It's balanced. We're not going to be meeting on a Saturday, and it also keeps us out of the school vacation week, which is at the end of the month, that I think, folks may be heading off if they have school-age children. So if that works out, I can get any feedback, and then I can let my staff know about those dates being secured.
Does anybody see any issues right now?
I would, so So I'd prefer Saturday, April 11th, because public safety is police, fire, and public works. 3 biggest departments, you're not going to get those done in one night.
I think last year we were here for about 2.5 hours, if I recall. I think we did.
You want to try to do it in a night then? I mean, if you weren't willing to stay late, I'll stay, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that, and if we did on the 9th, there'd be no other business items on that. It's not a regular council meeting agenda day, so
I just, food for thought. But if you're okay with it, I will just be prepared for a late night.
Would it make sense to start that meeting where it's not a regular meeting an hour
We
earlier?
started at 6.
we could. That is,
I
yeah.
think Jack's made a great suggestion.
Okay.
You probably, if you're doing the 3 biggest departments, you probably want to start that night at 6. If we get out by 9, great.
Yep.
And if we're here till 10, so be it. That kind of comes right in between that 2 to 3, 3 hour to 3.5 hour sweet spot.
Okay.
I think 6 o'clock works. I mean, we've, aside from, I think the last 2 years we have done a Saturday, but prior to that we didn't. So my first couple of years on the council, and there were never any.
Yeah, we got it done
like,
pretty quick.
Hugely late night. So I think that 6 o'clock is good to kind of meet in the middle there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that works.
Would you propose then to also look at April 16th as a 6 p.m. opportunity as well?
You probably should. I mean,
Okay.
I think that one's just not so much with budgets and the intensity. That's just numerically people coming in, right? So that's, 10 other departments.
Yep.
The first one's just numbers, lots of lines, lots of employees. The next one's a lot shorter than that, but there's a hell of a lot more of them, so.
Okay.
I
So
will
we'll
say
go
on
with
the
those.
16th, I will probably be virtual on the 16th and again on the West Coast. So if you start at 6 on the 16th, I probably won't be there at 6 o'clock, but, because it'll still be 3 o'clock, that might be a little early to cut out of work at that point. But I can probably, if we did it later, or I can just join in later.
Anybody
Unless
else?
you get a cough or something, I have to leave early because you don't feel well.
All right, so that's, you okay with that? Yes, that sounds good.
Okay. All right. So with that, I'll set that schedule, and what I can do is when it's all squared away, send that back out to all the council. I'll give Sheila that information, and then she can distribute it to all of our staff. So appreciate that, and I think that puts us in alignment with where we want to be.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Moving along, new business. Last item of business. Agenda item 25-120, resolution 2025-065, to amend the Veteran Service Connected Total Disability Property Tax Credit.
All right. So, it's fitting that we had the great presentation today, and we're talking about veterans credits on our taxes. So, one of the items that had come through the state legislature in 2025 was a restriction on stacking veterans credits. So within the state, you have certain provisions for a regular veterans credit, which for Derry is $550, and then also a service-related disability credit, which is $2,400. So veterans under the past law were allowed to, if they qualified, receive up to that $2,950 threshold. Now the new legislation under House Bill 99 prohibits the stacking. So if we were not to take action by April 1, 2026 for the 26 tax year, what would end up happening is we would run the risk of causing unintended harm to the veterans that fall in that category. So in other words, what would happen is they'd be restricted either to the $2,400 or the $550 if they had previously qualified for both, okay? So there are 84 veterans from the records that assessing provide who would be eligible for both of those credits. And we've created a resolution which essentially now would increase the total service-connected disability credit to $2,950 in recognition of the fact that they would not have the $550 available to them. So the math works out exactly the same. There's no difference relative to that, but this would just be something that would continue the current amount of credit that they receive. So I felt it was necessary to put this forward now so there were no hiccups as people go through. So I just want to make sure when we read the resolution, this is not for the 2025 tax year. The current credits are totally fine. This would be for the 2026 tax year, and the effective date on the resolution would be April 1, 2026. So just to be fully clear on that. So that's pretty much all we're looking to do tonight, and you have a resolution to move forward with.
Is there any questions on that? Councilor Mills?
I just want to clarify. So I'm a veteran right now, say, and I qualify for both the 550 and the 2400 veteran. I would no longer qualify for the for the 550. My new qualification would be for 2950. Correct?
Correct. So by state law, they cannot stack both credits. So we're just trying to make them whole from what they would have ordinarily had.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I move that the Town Council adopt Resolution 2025-065 to adjust the Veterans Service-Connected Total Disability Tax Credit. Whereas Section 5.1 of the Town Charter designates the Town Council as the governing and legislative body of the town, and whereas the town, by previous action of the Town Council, has adopted the provisions of RSA 72:35,1-A, providing for an optional veterans tax credit for service-connected total disability, the amount which is currently $2,400 against the tax on the residential property of eligible veterans who are residents of Derry or their eligible surviving spouses. And whereas the state legislature enacted revisions for state statute under HB 99, which prohibits the stacking of the optional veterans tax credits under RSA 72:28-C, in the amount of $550, and the optional service-connected total disability tax credit of $2,400. And whereas the council deems it worthwhile and beneficial as a demonstration of support and gratitude to said veterans for their service to the United States of America and the state of New Hampshire, and whereas the council seeks to continue the current total available credits and remedy any hardship in the upcoming tax year, and now therefore be it resolved in council that the amount of the veterans' service-related total disability tax credit is hereby increased to $2,950 per eligible veteran. This resolution shall take effect April 1st, 2026.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on it? No? On the motion, Council Mills.
I got to catch my breath. Yes.
Council Webb.
Yes.
Council Spencer.
Yes.
Council Chase.
Yes.
Council Mojay.
Yes.
Council McGuckern.
Not so easy as a Council Mills. I'll give you the next 3 pages, too.
I always
Yes.
take the short ones.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion carries 7-0. Councilors, any comments or liaison reports?
Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.